A couple of days ago on March 30th, we saw a teaser trailer for, I guess, the Scott Pilgrim anime that's supposed to be appearing on Netflix either sometime late this year or early 2024. I'm going to go on a limb and say that'll probably come out sometime in 2024. Especially concerning the fact that we're now just seeing the teaser trailer and we didn't really see any like actual footage of the anime or anything itself. But honestly, when it comes down to, I guess, video games and Netflix, it seems like lately we've been getting a lot of film slash anime adaptations of popular video games. You know, we got to see Tekken Bloodline recently. We got to see like a couple of seasons of Castlevania, which started back in 2017 on Netflix. We got to see Sonic Prime is basically a standalone like a standalone show, but it's based off of the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series. Now we're gonna get Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is pretty cool because last time I guess the movie or the franchise was relevant was back in 2010, and that was like, I would say that was like at least like 12 years ago. And the thing is, the Scott Pilgrim movie was one that a lot of people thought was better than it had any business being. Now, granted, the film was still considered a box office, bomb when it first came out. It was a pretty good movie that appealed to it appealed to a niche audience of, I guess, people who are huge gaming fans and all that stuff, or people who are fans of, the romantic, action comedy, adventure type, genre or what have you. And the thing is, the popularity of the film eventually led to a video game adaptation, which I think was more popular than the movie itself, but everybody has their own respective opinions on what was more popular. But the video game from 2010, which appeared on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, looked dope. I mean, the pixel art was beautiful because it was almost like Ubisoft was paying homage to the 16-bit era of gaming with with Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, but the graphics for this look way better than all that stuff. And I feel like what you see here in terms of visuals with the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World video game, it's kind of like if the 16-bit era never ended and it just got better over time, because the graphics you see for this game looked way better than anything you saw on the Game Boy Advance or the Nintendo DS. And looking back at those games now, or all the video games that came out for the Game Boy Advance or Nintendo DS, those games looked horrible. Not all of them, but I would say like Game Boy Advance had some decent games, but Nintendo DS seemed kind of overrated when it came out because it was supposed to be like a portable, I guess, N64, but it's like, what's the point? You might as well just move on and just make more high-profile 3D games opposed to going backwards and making low-profile 64-bit video games for nostalgia purposes. But the thing is, Scott Pilgrim basically had a cult following since its release. A lot of people are bummed that a sequel never materialized, but at the same time, considering the fact that it didn't do good in the box office, you can't be too surprised that the film didn't get a sequel. And the thing is, I can't even remember what the exact budget was, but I think the budget for the Scott Pilgrim film was at least like $60 million. I don't know the exact number, and it drew, I don't even remember like how much it did, but the thing was like it drew significantly less than, I guess, how much money went into the film. But at the same time, like the creativity was there. All the the dialogue and all that stuff was pretty cool. Like the execution of everything was solid. And it's been a while since I saw the Scott Pilgrim movie. I might watch it a little bit later sometime this week just to kind of, get an idea on, I guess, what it was like in comparison to what you see here in the video game. But honestly, I do feel that like the Scott Pilgrim anime on Netflix is going to be interesting when it comes out, especially considering the fact that we're going to be having, I guess, the actors and actresses who are in the actual movie, they're going to be voice actors for the characters in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So I honestly think that's definitely going to turn heads, and it's going to make longtime fans of, I guess, the movie become more interested in the franchise once again. And hopefully, like, we'll see more, I guess, footage, or I guess more trailers and all that stuff in terms of what to expect from the Scott Pilgrim versus the World anime before the end of 2023. But until then, I do feel that, like, things are looking up for, this Netflix anime, showing or what have you. And I do feel that this is something that is definitely going to be a big deal once it's released in 2024.